That's okay.
Welcome to this second monthly meeting. Thanks for coming. We have many things to share today, so let's start. So yeah, okay, we know what is UI Suite, but there will be some changes. So it's good to have for the last time a view on this graph. Before starting, let's have a look on the ecosystem on Drupal.org. You know, every module has an ecosystem page. If you add /ecosystem to the module URL, and this is a two-day landscape we can see, and it seems some are missing. So if you have some module to add to the ecosystem, be free to add it. It's possible from your module settings page. So yeah, I recognize the module from you, Christian, from me, from Florent. So I think others are here, but maybe some are missing. So for this meeting, we will have the kind of the same agenda as last month. We will introduce a new module, the module we already talked about in October, and also we will, for the one who want to stay at the end, we will review some issues and hopefully do some merge during the meeting. So last month we introduced 4 new subjects. We were not inside the slide deck. It was introduced by our discussion. First is the GitHub issues. You know, we moved to Drupal.org issue queue. So what we will do to the GitHub issues. So today, I have tested 1 hour ago. It's still possible to create issue. So it's an issue. We can create issue. And the last one was created September the 15th. It's not bad news because September 15 was before the release of UI pattern 1.3, so the official move to Drupal.org. But still, we need to do something. I didn't find any way of disabling the issue without deleting them. I didn't try on UI pattern because I'm not maintainer on GitHub repository, but I tried on my own GitHub repositories, and I don't find. So if someone knows how to do, you are welcome to help. We talk about the second subject, which is the UI pattern code consolidation. It's a old subject. We talked a lot about this last year. We are still talking about this last year. There is very strong opinion about this on both sides. So it was reintroduced by some of you last month. So today we have 5 submodules on UI pattern. The library, of course, but also 2 related to core API and 2 related to contrib API. So what do? Do we move out the contrib related out of UI pattern module? Do we move some contrib module in UI pattern as a module? The subject is still open.
Mm. Yes, we have to talk about it to Antonio, Fabian, and I don't remember his name. And maybe we have to try to catch them in a monthly meeting to talk about that with them, I think.
Yeah,
So,
we already talked with them this spring, but at this time they did a veto about moving in some module. We didn't really talk with them about moving out. So first,
yes,
we can. It's not because there is a veto that we can talk again. The subject is still open, but also there is a new way of dealing with this issue. Can we move out some stuff? I think we don't want to do the maintenance of field group and display suite anymore inside UI pattern. So I think this part will be welcomed by
Yes.
Fabian.
But what I understood also at that time is that when we were discussing with them, is that they wanted to follow an architecture where you include submodules when they are correlated. So yes, maybe the idea is to move out, like for example, field group, display suite.
Yeah, but they didn't want to move in some stuff because they say
I think it could be discussed again, as we are more people now.
No, but I understand the opinion because it was opinion shared by many people during the developer days. Yeah, Drupal developer days. No, in April.
Okay.
Yeah, the opinion of stopping to do some modules, but
yes,
it's a plan for many years. So now we are talking about today. So
yes,
so
I think
let's keep this.
the reflection was related to the new concept of starter kits or recipes, but it's not.
No. It's a reflection about composer management, composer workflow management, being closer to the composer workflow. So removing .info.yaml in favor of composer.json. So doing more with composer.json, and also if you install Drupal module with composer require, it's enough. You don't need to activate it, like in other PHP, platforms. So if you do that, it's not possible to do submodule anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a common subject during coffee breaks in the Drupal dev days. So I think it's the same they are talking about.
Okay.
Okay, let's move in. We also talk about slot and props. So this vocabulary, slot and props, was introduced as a meeting last month. It's a vocabulary coming from Vue.js. The idea is that slots are free renderable. So any string, render element, renderable object, something you can just, you throw it on the template and it's rendered. And props are rigid types, which can be validated by a schema. So you need a Boolean, you need a URL, you need a value from enum, a Drupal menu structure, you need something. And if I give you something else, it may not work. I think the most obvious example is when you do a button component, the button label, of course, is expecting a string, but if you send a renderable with markup, it will work. It will technically. You can put a button in a button, it will work. But the URL variable, if you send a markup, it will break. So that's why we start to introduce this split between slots and props. Knowing that it's not exactly like Vue.js, because, for example, a list of slots in Drupal are also slot because they are renderable. But if you do a loop on it, it's become a prop because if you send a single card, the loop will break. So Christian, you proposed last month an slots or field from a UI pattern and props or settings from UI pattern settings. And I think that was something well accepted by the group. So in my side, I'm moving the UI Suite Bootstrap implementation of Bootstrap 4 to this splitting between field and settings. Someone want to share something? Okay, I think we are going to a consensus here. And we talk also about style option. So this is a module we have discovered a few weeks ago. It's a competition of UI styles. It was created a bit after, but it's very similar. It's also inspired by layout option, so it's similar to AI pattern, and it follows the UI Suite philosophy. That means you declare everything in YAML file, so you are generating plugin from YAML file, and this YAML file can be created by a front developer in the Drupal theme. However, there is some differences, no library page. The style declaration is complicated, but maybe there is a good reason for that, but it's complicated. And there is two integration now, one with layout plugin, which is a bit also complicated to set up, and one with paragraph type. I didn't try this one. The maintainers was not contacted yet, but something we need to do. And maybe there is some inspiration to take for some improvement in your styles. Someone has testing the module during the month?
No, but I have two questions. One for this project.
Hmm.
What is the next step? Is to contact the maintainers?
I think so, yes. Just
Okay.
to say, yeah, we exist, we know you exist.
Yeah, maybe
It's
talk
nice
about
to have kind of the same IDs.
the second step could be to maybe merge the two projects if they are very similar.
to merge, yeah. Yes.
I have a question because I'm not sure what's the difference between your style options and your pattern settings, because actually it's doing the same, or?
No.
I'm not sure what.
Styles is to implement, some style utilities or style helpers. It's a class you can apply to anything. For example, if you want to change the shadow of an element, and you have a style with 3 shadow options, for example, the big shadow, small shadow, medium shadow. You can apply this style to any component or to a component part or to any HTML element outside of component. If you go to Bootstrap, you will see the style. The styles are now called utilities. There was called helpers before, but now there are utilities. And if you go to many design systems, they are extracted. So it's not settings because it can be used anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I never use styles in my components, so maybe that's not because I don't understand that.
Yeah, because it's not only targeting to component. It's targeting to any HTML element.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on. So there was only one.
I had a question for the UI pattern slide. I just wanted to know if it has an impact on the UI patterns project, or is it just like separating settings and fields?
No. There is no technical impact. It's only to agree about this issue because when we were in DrupalCon, a few people like Andreas and Mathieu came to us and say, how can we constrain what people will inject into fields?
Okay.
And I was like, but you don't need to constrain. Fields are free. That's the beauty of the component-based architecture. You inject component inside component inside component, and it's free. But I was talking about slots, and I was talking about props, if you take this vocabulary. That's why we were talking about something different. So we need to agree that a slot, so fields by default, are free. So if you have a card, you can inject a button inside it, but you can also inject a menu inside your card if you want. You can inject anything. It's your decision. It's not a technical constraint. But if you have props, you need to do some control, and so the first part was to agree about the issue and the two kind of data we are injecting. And once done, how we organize ourselves. And the idea was to use field for slot and settings for props. It's just to share about
This to have the same vocabulary and be able to constrain the usage of patterns.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Now, we will not change anything on the code base of the UI pattern module, but we can change the way we are using UI pattern module. For example, on the UI Suite Bootstrap, I will move a few fields to settings because those fields are not accepting any value.
Okay, thank you.
So the roadmap for the next weeks, I hope before the next meeting, UI pattern 1.4, there is a scope defined according to wish list. So, Florent, is the scope totally defined and fixed, or is it still moving?
I hope that it is fixed. Otherwise, this release will never see the day. We never see the light. Yeah, because currently there are plenty of issues in it, and some are no more moving. What else? But the scope defined according to more than only those 3 peoples. But yes, some issues have already patches or merge requests. Others are to discuss. And yeah, as I said to Michael, we need to stop adding new stuff in the scope. And also, if people who want issues that already exist on GitHub, they have to create themselves the issue on Drupal.org and move the code there or pull requests existing on GitHub from GitHub to Drupal.org. Yes, that's the way to detect dying issues or.
Yeah. So we agree about that last month. And it's the people who want the issue to be fixed. We are moving them from GitHub.
Yeah.
Actually, for people who don't know, we created this issue. It's like a triage, like issue triage based on the different wish list we had from Edouard, Liza, Tim, and also Philippe. But Philippe is not here today. We wanted to discuss an issue with him, but next time. So we did this triage, and we already created the Drupal issue based on the GitHub, and we cross-link the two of them.
So let's block the scope. And
the scope is blocked. Yes. Yeah.
okay.
So there are like maybe 12 issues, 12 or 13 issues to fix.
Okay, on UI styles, we are planning a new release. So some API improvement, views. I'm sure it will be because it's on my side mostly. I need to test the work from Florent. And I don't know about CK Editor 5. It will depend of when it will be done.
Yeah, at least I will have a need for one project. One project I'm currently on, but maybe in we are already in November, so maybe in December.
Okay.
I hope so. But before going to CK Editor 5, as you will introduce later in the meeting the new UI skins module, I prefer to stabilize UI skins, also stabilize UI styles, and then CK Editor 5.
Yeah,
doing
sure.
CK Editor integration.
Yeah, because we are also an issue, a bug to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
And UI example, a beta will come soon with some API improvement. Not a big deal. And about team, we are still working on team. And also, why are we working on team? It's a way for us to check if the UI suite modules are working well. So it's very useful. And also, we are using some of them on projects. This is not the main expected use, but it's also used like that. It's more a test bed for UI suite. So for Bootstrap 4, the main, I will restore the demo as a profile. So it will be very useful. For Bootstrap 5, we are working on a UI skin integration now. We will talk about that later. And material, we are implementing also UI skin, a few examples with UI example, and we are moving to auto init script on JS because now there is a lot of custom JS. And for protocol is a small one, it's feature complete. I think we can move to beta because it's mostly done. So the big subject of today is the 5th UI suite module, UI skin. So it's to implement 3 features. First is the global CSS variables. It's called CSS properties on the specs. Why global? Because now component related CSS variable are out of scope for now, but maybe it will come later. Team, when a design system has a team like or a mode like dark mode, light mode, high contrast mode, this kind of mode. And also some page layout stuff. Is the container fluid, the container non-fluid, outer gutter or non-outer gutter, this kind of page layout. Now we are implementing a custom PHP code with theme settings, and it would be nice to let the front developer just edit a YAML file to expose this to the site builder. Is it clear, the 3 needs? So it will be the 5th. Today, when under that stem, we have the component and the variant. For this, we have UI patterns. We have the style utilities and helpers. For this, we have UI styles, layouts, mostly grid-based layout, and the layout option is helping us to set them up. Example pages. We have a UI example. Your example is not providing anything to Drupal. It's only for examples pages or for the library, but it's useful too. And the new one, UI skin, for the stuff we talked at the slide before. UI skin will not provide plugins for config entities. That means it will provide nothing to layout builder, no field formatters, no blocks, no view style, nothing. It will provide stuff for stem settings. Someone, if
No,
someone
that's
wants
that's what I wanted to. Not config entities, but config settings of a theme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just a plain setting. So it will be different in the way of working. So Florent did first like internal release. I don't know his release. He just pushed a branch.
Yeah,
I tried
currently development branch. Yes.
development branch. Yeah. I tried it this weekend with USU material, and there was no issue. It was working very fine. I have 3 suggestions, feature section to do. So Florent, let's talk about that when you will have some free time. But yeah, once again, it was very nice. At the end of the meeting, I can do a demo for the one who wants. But it's already impressive.
Maybe you can do it now, no? The demo.
No, let's not break the workflow, and I'm not ready. No, I have my.
At the
I don't.
end, okay.
Yeah. I'm not ready. I need to start my containers and everything. So
Okay.
we tried also with Bootstrap. So Florent.
Yes. Originally, I tried for Bootstrap 5 because especially on project driven. Because we are using UI Suite Bootstrap 5, and so it is allowing us to contribute. But for Bootstrap 5, there are too many CSS variables. Currently, in a merge request in the issue queue, there are only some kind of base CSS variables. But the problem is, and that we have to discuss, is that, for example, some CSS variables are almost do not have effects because they are used by other CSS variables, etc. Or they are maybe more for how to say that, maybe it is like SAS variables but exposed as CSS variables, so not very in terms of functional, not very the best. And the problem, for example, is that when there are some root CSS variables exposed to handle, for example, the primary, secondary, colors, etc., it does not have impact on, for example, components, because there are overrides for components, and for each variant of components. Maybe I can show you later also, but that's why we need to rethink how scopes are handled, etc. And how to handle it exactly, because it will be it will give a blotted theme settings form if we really expose every CSS variables and scopes. And maybe also for the seed builders, it can be really, really, really confusing. So yes, it's quite complicated, and because this is a feature that is very recent in Bootstrap 5, 5.2. And so maybe they will have to rethink how they expose the CSS variables into more some kind of public API.
Yeah. It seems they just take a SAS variable and they say, okay, we
let's
will
generate
expose them as
let's generate CSS variables from SAS variables, but that's now
it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea because they are very different. SAS variable, it's internal API, as you say, and it's for build time, and sometimes it's very technical. And CSS variables are cascading, so they are behaving differently. The behavior when you change the CSS variable is not the same as the behavior when you change the same SAS variable. So it's not possible to map exactly the one together. So when I did UI Suite material, it's like they really think the CSS variable as a clean API. You know, it was meaningful, but Bootstrap it looks like a mess.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we need a third theme for testing. We of course we can find another design system in the wild. There is many design system we can implement for testing. But if you, on one of your projects, you are already using CSS variable, you are welcome to join us and to test UI skin with your project. So feel free to contact Florent first and me too on the UI Suite Slack channel.
Okay, and UI skins issue queue.
UI skins issue queue too, yeah. So, Florent, do you have the people you want to? Is the people the people related to those issues in this meeting?
Not everyone, especially for the first issue, but the other issues we know do not need specific people. It can be some kind of participants agreement, collegial agreement. So we can take a look at that. After that, I can share you my screen because I have the issues opened.
It will be better.
Okay.
If you better, you share the screen. So me, I will prepare the demo of material with your skin when you are sharing your screen, and then I take the screen back.
Okay, but before changing and doing really to reviews and code and discussions, do people have questions or remarks before? 1, 2, 3. Okay, no questions, no remarks. Okay, I can share my screen. Where is it? This one. Okay, so it is mainly issues on UI patterns, but some are related to the UI styles module 2, and it is more to discuss about a unique and uniformized way to handle stuff. Also, for the next meetings, what we want to do is to have an issue in the UI Suite initiative issue queue for the next meeting every time. So instead of exchanging by emails, anyone can propose issues and propose also subjects in these issues in preparation for the next meeting. And this issue will also be used as a report of the meeting. Okay, so
a reminder for task to maybe.
Sorry.
Next one, and maybe have some links for the next meetings, like
exactly. Yeah,
like,
every time links to previous and the next one, etc. Okay. So first one. So I don't remember except.
Yes,
So Philippe is not here. Yeah, he is missing. But for example, should we wait? As it is some kind of features, should we wait for automated tests on stuff like that? Or is it mergeable because it is very small modifications, but expanding the API? But yeah, should it be merged or should it require dedicated automated tests?
My humble and personal opinion, it's because additional is, as you say, is a very small feature, and additional also it's a feature we are using everywhere else in pattern. UI pattern, we know already how it works. We know what it provides. We know there is no side effect with this
You mean
property.
you mean this key additional? It is
Yeah,
exactly
yeah, yeah.
this one that is used by others?
No, it's not a new key. It's new key on definition field, but it's already existing on pattern definition.
Okay,
So
I'm missing one stuff, but it's okay.
okay. En fait, additional, you know, it's
Yes.
just a key when you are when you init a new pattern.
Yeah.
And if you init a pattern with some properties who doesn't exist in the definition, those properties are moved to additional.
Okay.
So it's like it's instead of losing them,
Mm-hmm.
you keep them in additional, and it's nice because it's like third-party settings, you know,
Okay.
in Drupal plugins.
Okay.
So
In this case, let's merge.
yeah, for me, it's my opinion, and I don't want to shock people, you know.
Okay. Do other people have opinion to express? But if we are okay, I will merge it after
Yeah.
the meeting. Okay.
It's a vote.
All right. No reply, so let's go. Let's move forward. This issue, it is a small bug fix. I think it is a one-line bug fix, yes. But should it require a dedicated test also, or can it be merged like that?
It's right now it doesn't work, so I think
What? Sorry?
I think right now the view integration doesn't work, so I think we don't need
It's
test
okay.
because right now it doesn't work. So
So
should
okay,
merge.
there is no risk to break something because it's
Yeah,
already
genau.
broken. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Genau.
All right. All right. I give it. And after that, okay. So maybe okay. As you highlighted, Pierre, before in the meeting, we moved issue queue on Drupal.org, even if it is still possible to create issues on GitHub. But what about the documentation generated by code inside the UI patterns module and with some kind of pipelines, etc., and GitHub pages? How do we handle that? Because currently there is not a lot of changes, but at some point it will be outdated. So what are the opinions?
It's generated from GitHub.
Yes.
Let's keep GitHub as a mirror, no? No, but if we archive the project,
yeah,
and we stop using issues, we are stop doing merge requests, we do everything on Drupal.org, but the documentation is still generated from GitHub. Let's keep GitHub as a mirror.
In this case, the repository will not be archived. Otherwise, we cannot push again, I think.
Okay.
But also, yeah, the problem for me is that should people prefer to have documentation in code or to use Drupal.org documentation system so anyone can edit documentation and participate in it? Also, yes. No,
Yeah,
I
and I think it's much easier for contrib modules, for other UI pattern modules, to extend the documentation when they're on Drupal.org. Or so I think we should move it if it's not too much work, because then I can extend maybe UI pattern settings documentation also to the UI patterns documentation as a submenu or something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I think we should completely close the GitHub project, and do everything, because it doesn't make sense to have issues on Drupal.org when I can can't do a merge request on Drupal.org.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm also in favor to move completely on Drupal.org and to avoid also, I don't know, also access blockade to have access denied permissions to, I don't know, push on the branch, etc. on GitHub. And by having everything on Drupal.org, we ensure the project will be able to live. Okay.
That's okay. I can take it.
Because what I imagine when creating the issues that maybe we can test if it is possible to have this documentation online, but in this case, binded on the Drupal.org repository, maybe, or yes, rewrite completely on Drupal.org pages.
I think rewrite is the best one. It's only like a copy pasting.
Yes, but currently, how is it? It is returns. It is sorry. It is returns in what, in RST. RST. What is it? Is some kind of markdown. So yeah, where what? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay, 8 pages. 8 pages to do.
That's 50.
And also yes, the images to upload, etc. And that's it. Or maybe some kind of syntax to update, but after that it will be okay. Maybe okay on Drupal.org pages it will not have the same look as on this Redux UI, but yeah, I think for the long term it will be the best too.
I take it.
Okay, thanks. And one last stuff I wanted to discuss is about the libraries of patterns and libraries of styles, because currently it is as it is sorted the way it is declared in the YAML files, at least for the UI styles library. Should it be sorted alphabetically by the machine name or the label? Yeah, receive some kind of this kind of questions, and to ensure we have the same sort between the different modules of the ecosystem.
So what the other modules are doing?
In core, you have both. Sometimes, for example, especially in admin menu. In admin menu between, for example, structure content types, menu links, and when you go on the structure content types and you see, for example, the list of your content types, there can be a difference. One is sorted by the label, the other is sorted by the machine name, so you have both. But I'm
Exactly the sort. The issue today is there is no sort, no?
there is some kind of sort, but not sure. On UI styles there is no sort, but on UI patterns there is a sort, but I don't remember exactly which one is already in place. And yes, as discussed a little bit in the issue, maybe we can sort on the label, so it will not confuse the seed builder or the people we will consult.
Not only seed builder, because in my project, the client is going to the pattern library too. You know, when we are discussing with the client about doing evolution, they say, we want a new page. You say, what do you want to use? You want to use a banner? You want to use a board component? And let's evolve. So it's everybody go to the pattern page.
Okay, but in this case, let's sort on the label because it is visible by the people who read the page, and so it is not based on an hidden data. If others have opinions about that. And also, yeah, one last point is that maybe we will have a side effect on the pattern library. Because, for example, when we start to take the habit of internal patterns to put them inside parentheses, it will appear first. It will appear first if sorted by alphabetical order, and last if we prefixed it by an underscore.
But which function do you use? Because there is a NAT sort, no, on PHP. I think that sort it's only using letters.
Sorry, can you NAT sort? Yes. What?
You know, on PHP there is a lot of sort function.
Sort algorithm. Okay, yeah.
And one, I think, one of them may.
We'll be able to ignore parentheses to see the next character. Okay. Okay.
So let's decide. We sort on label. We don't care if the sort is changing from language to language, and if possible, we don't put parentheses at the beginning. We put them in the right position.
You mean if we put parentheses, it is even that it is put in the correct position? Okay.
Yeah. We ignore parentheses.
Okay. Do other people have opinions about that?
And I think we don't need to do a unit test because it's only display on the library.
Okay. One, 2, 3. Okay, agreed. Do other people have subjects to discuss or issues? Because we are currently having maybe I have one if but I let other people react. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no reaction. So yes, one point in terms of extending the API. For example, during some new features on UI Suite Bootstrap theme, we made the proper integration, for example, of progress bar with Drupal JS system of progress bar, for example, when using a batch. But okay, in Drupal JavaScript, there is a Drupal.theme key, but it returns directly via HTML that way. And like we have a twig, a twig function to call a pattern directly inside another twig template. I think it will be very nice to be able to do the same stuff in JavaScript, but I'm not sure it is possible. I don't think that way. I think currently it is not possible, but even technically later, if we do the feature, if technically it will be possible.
Christian did a module called UI pattern decoupled. Christian?
Yes, but it's a complete different scope. It's yeah.
Okay.
It's to add Vue or React components as components.
Okay. So it's not the same, yeah.
All right. And Theodore, as a JavaScript maintainer, do you think it will be possible?
Yeah. So do you want to load the template from an Ajax request, or is the HTML going to be in the page when you load it?
I imagine more an Ajax request, but or to be able to, yeah.
That's going to be a bit of a problem. I mean, the solution I have in mind, like right now, is for the module to output the markup in a template tag that you pick up on the JavaScript side to give the HTML to display. Because the
but
code
the rendering is. Sorry, Theodore.
Yeah, because the Drupal.sim function expects a return and doesn't expect like a promise or something that we could use to load this HTML from Ajax. So the markup needs to be on the page, or built in the page somehow without delay. It needs to be synchronous.
Okay. So even and if we start, I don't know, putting the rendering of patterns inside, I don't know, Drupal settings, it will be too. It will add too.
Yeah, that could work.
Much. Yeah, but it will add. I don't know, depending on the number of patterns and variants, etc. On the project, it can be very. It can wait on the page wait. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, I wouldn't put that in Drupal settings because this is cached somewhere. So you might blow up the cache if there's too many. But if you add that to the HTML rendering in a template tag, then it gets cached along the rest of the HTML page, and that's the purpose is to cache the page. So if it's heavy, that's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah, in this case, it will mean that we will have to put only what is required on the page, and not every patterns to be.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have a detection system to be able to, okay, this pattern will be used, etc. So we'll put it in the page. Okay, not for now. not in the in an imminent future. Not. All right. Does other people want to discuss stuff?
No, and we have only 5 minutes left for the demo.
Oh yeah, so sorry, you have your demo to do. I will give you. I will stop sharing my screen.
I will delete your work, Laurent, so
Oh.
it's a your demo.
Youpi.
Okay, so you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
So this is UI material. It's still alpha, but you see we have the pattern from material design. It's still ongoing, so but it works kind of well, and we have some styles. There is only a few styles on material, only background color, text color, and typography is very minimalistic. So I go to my theme settings. And I have a new field set at the bottom of the page with my theme. Sorry, I'm tired. My variable. So this is a variable defined by the front developer inside the YAML file. So material is divided colors into 3 groups. Colors were applied to the text, to the front, and to the back, to the front ground and to the background. So they are merged together. Color were only applied to the text most of the time because of the background, and colors were only applied to the background. So let's start. I take primary color. and I will move primary color to purple, and I will take secondary color to yellow. So I can put any color, you know, it's only my color picker, but I have also color wheel here. I save. And then I can see updating my page, and every use of my primary color, including the one from the header, was moved to purple, and every use of the secondary color, like here, was moved to yellow. So it works. I go to my styles, and I can also see that my styles have changed to purple and yellow for the text color and the background color. So every time I will use a style, it will be changed. And I also have some variable from grid for every breakpoint or called desktop, tablet, and phone. I can change the margin size, the gutter size, and the column width. So let's take, for example, the gutter size. Let's go from 24 to 96. But first, before doing the change, what's happening? My browser, do you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I've frozen. I'm frozen.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't see this, but it works. It works very well. Okay, it's back. Just okay. So let's open the grid row component here. So you can see the grid row is only using the component is only using the normal grid. There is nothing specific to the component. So I move from 24 to 96 pixel. I saved. And now I'm updating my component, and you see the gutter have increased according to the set variable. So it works well. Some question? No? Are you excited about this feature? I am myself.
Yeah.
No, I think it will be a game changer for a lot of projects when the client wants to. So, for example, I have a client with a strong color palette around the red, and I know sometimes I want to change some colors for events like Christmas color or Black Friday colors, and it will be done by the seed builder instead of being done by CSS override. So it will be very nice. And also this module can be used as like all the UI feed module. UI skin can be used without UI pattern, UI style, light option, or UI example. And today there is no fully working Drupal module to manage CSS variables. So UI skin can be popular outside of the UI skin community. And it's noon, so we are on time. Someone want to add something? Yeah, Florent?
Yes, sorry. Thanks for the demo. But in the issues I wanted to discuss, I forgot one. It is about to integrate support UI pattern settings directly in the UI patterns library. So at this, originally in the GitHub issue, Antonio was not completely okay with that, from what I remember. Yeah, with some kind of doing with twig blocks, etc. in it. he proposed that, but I'm not sure this will not lead to very complicated stuff, because if it is overridden inside UI pattern settings, but also inside a theme implementation, if there will not be some kind of mess or incompatibility. So
yeah, I don't know about what can happen with the tweak blocks, but indeed, every time we start a new UI pattern project, one of the first thing we do is to override the UI pattern library overview page .html.twig to add the settings inside the pattern table. So
yeah, so that's why I'm also in favor to do it directly inside UI patterns.
Yeah, but the opinion of I guess of Antonio is to say, okay, UI pattern settings is popular, but maybe it will not be the only one to extend, like that.
Yeah.
But today, it's been now 5 years, nearly 6 years I'm using UI pattern. I've seen only UI pattern settings doing this kind of extension. So maybe if this happens only one time every 5 years, we don't need a generic extension system. You know what I mean? So you want to, yeah. You want, okay, because it's a bit controversial, let's move it to the next meeting, if you don't mind, Florent.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, all of you. Let's meet next month.
Yeah, I will plan another invitation on December, maybe, let's say 6 or 13. Maybe 13, it's better.
Yeah, 13 is better. Not during holidays. That's
5 weeks before Christmas.
Before Christmas. So yeah. So I hope the rest of the gang will join us.
Yes, I will duplicate the same invitation.
Thank you for this invitation. It's my first time to assist this presentation. It looks like it's very interesting to see the evolution of the UI pattern and the UI suite team.
Thank you, Lina. We hope to see you again.
Thank you. Yes, sure. It will be my pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
See you next time.
Thank you very much. Bye, Tim. Yes. Attends, je vais couper le...